Testing, testing.
Is this
I
thing
do,
on?
I do believe we are live. I do believe we're live. Cox, let's start the show.
Perhaps. I guess we'll call this one Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday. Okay, I think we have blast off now. Man, good morning, good morning, good morning.
I guess we just gonna start the show how we end the show. We usually get off late. We're gonna come in late with the Haps song here on this Freaky Friday.
We don't believe in the concept of time.
We all twisted up today.
Excuse the technical difficulties, but this is Cox's fault today. Funny, we're going to talk about some new broadband coming to Omaha, too.
Man, some competition.
All right, I think we're ready now. Check 1 2 1 2. Man, give me a test real quick, buddy.
What's up? What's up? What's up? My best Martin Payne.
I like it.
Marty Ma in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Freaky Friday edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the DS.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Those of you trying to listen. Everybody trying to listen.
Man, yeah.
Apologize for the lateness here. We definitely had some internet difficulties once again.
Man, and I ain't in the room. You can't blame me this time.
Can't blame you this time, man.
Man.
It's all Cox's fault. Cox cable's tripping.
Man.
Illing like Pillen. In a
man. Yeah, we're gonna talk about him today too. Got a lot of things. Yeah, got a few things to get into, man. Hopefully the internet holds up.
Yeah. It's 3 minutes before we started the show, all of a sudden everything was down.
Man, it was running smoothly up until then.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll hang on here. Come on, Cox, hang on. We appreciate everybody that's joining us again. It is a Freaky Friday edition of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
It is what is it? Friday the 18th today.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for joining us. Yep.
And not quite the 13th. About 5 days missed, but still a Freaky Friday, man.
Superstitious about the 13th?
No, not really. No.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like 13 is a good number.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, Jesus had 12 disciples, right? Makes him the what? 13th.
Well, he had 11 because one of them was tripping. One of them was
like Pillen.
Thanks for everybody who's joining us this morning in the chat. We got Leia Keister saying happy Fry yo yay yippee yo yippee yay. Almost
okay. I need her and Ice Cube just to hang out. Just yay yo yippee yay. Yay and yippee yo all day.
Yeah, man. I feel like I need to be sea walking when I'm reading her.
Man, yippee yo yay yo yay.
Amy H. No Dot in the house. Good morning with some sunshine. Good morning. Good. I'm glad you're on. And Amy H. Dot. That's what's up. Amy H. Dot.
Amy H's.
People said that she said that people have been introducing her as Amy H. Dot around town. I told you, man, my nicknames be sticking.
Yeah, man.
Hola, what's going on? What's happening? For those of you just joining us, it is Haps Friday. We do have a we do have a special guest coming on. DJ Kethro is coming on through, so that's what's up. That Miss Erica Fell says, "Good morning, family." Okay. Yeah. Is that kind of like family? Friday, mamily? I don't know.
We are family.
Thanks for joining us. And once again, we're sorry that we're coming in late. It was internet issues this time around. Kind of makes you remember, we're kind of hanging on at the mercy of Cox Cable.
Man.
If they don't feel like being on for the moment. I was thinking about that last night too, because I was up like 3 in the morning.
Same here.
And around 2:30 every night, Cox Cable goes down.
Really?
Yes, like clockwork. And it has something to do with them like restarting some systems. I don't know what they're doing, but they just decided that we all should be asleep at 2:30 in the morning. So they're gonna go ahead and just turn our internet off and do what they got to do for a minute.
Man,
like clockwork. So again, makes you realize like how at the mercy you are at what would we do if we didn't have the internet right now?
Man, Lord of mercy.
Yeah, be walking around trying to have live conversations and
that's
people in rooms.
They have to live alive together, man. It makes you think, what did people do before the internet?
Before broadcast. I mean, just broadcasting. Think about how much the landscape has changed, and just the fact that we can do this without having to be on Channel 7 and have a show or something.
Man.
Even like ghost listener Tim Clark, he got a show on channel on WOWT every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the godfathers of what it is we doing here, on TV, bringing people in, having conversations once a week.
Yeah, man.
It took a lot to get that show, I'm quite sure. So the fact that we were able to set up some cameras and go live and go broadcast to the whole world right now is kind of a trip. But we're at the mercy of Cox Cable for that, which is kind of strange. So kind of strange to think about when you try to turn it on and don't work.
And things you take for granted, man. Things you take for granted. So yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be able to live alive with y'all, or at least be live with y'all.
E-live, I like that. E-live with you this morning.
A little bit. So yeah, definitely welcome. Miss Erica Phelps says we had a blast and we're a lot skinnier before the internet. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. Also, Tamika Johnson gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Good to see your name in the chat again over here on YouTube. Don't see any Facebook people in quite yet. I wonder if Facebook's tripping. Has some connectivity issues on Facebook a little earlier. If you're on Facebook, let us know and spread the spread the word. Do the whole. There we go. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning.
Okay, right on time.
Pop says good morning, fam, and mad love from Las Vegas. Right on.
Okay, glad you're feeling well.
Yeah,
or better at least.
Getting the crew back together. That's what's up. Appreciate that very much. It's already 7:15. If you believe in the concept of time, I guess we're gonna go ahead and start the show.
Let's start the show.
Good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Freaky Friday edition, August the 18th, 2023. We apologize for coming in late, had some technical difficulties, but we're here now. Stay tuned for special guest Kethro that's going to come in a little bit later on in the show. But this is Haps Friday, so get your haps together. We're going to have an extensive haps towards the end and all through, really, and just talk about some of the stuff that's going on around town that we think is important that you attend, and also hear from you about what you think we should be checking out as well. So again, apologize for the technical difficulties, but we're here now, and hopefully you're here too. Like Buddy said, we're living live with each other today. I like that. I have to take that one. I like that. That's a good one. It's a good one.
Go ahead.
And let us know how you're feeling and what's going on with you in this on this Friday, the 18th. One thing I did here this morning. Air advisory is happening, so more fires in Canada. They're saying it's going to be thick today. If you got problems breathing and stuff like that, you might want to stay inside. You might want to stay inside anyway because it's about to be like 98 degrees, 99 to 97 degrees today or something like that too. So
Man,
it's
but
gonna
it
be a
got
hot
rain
weekend.
in the 2000.
Yeah. Tomorrow is supposed to be 98, and then Sunday is supposed to be 100 with a heat index of like 112 or something crazy.
Yeah, that's where my mind went. Like, what is the heat index for all that?
That humidity, man, makes it bad news.
Man, I'm trying to think. When is the pools usually close around Labor Day, right?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Memorial to Labor Day usually, but it might be a good time to take a dip.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
Or
man.
like I said, stay inside because that air is gonna be bad too. So it's gonna be hot and the air is bad, but it does cool down around the evening times here right about now too. So last night it kind of dipped down to like 76, 68
Okay.
or something like that. It got real cool last night, and it's gonna be like that for the next few days. So watch out for that. Check on loved ones, all that good stuff. Anything else going on this weekend coming up? Miss Erica Felt says, I'm keeping the children inside even though it's really nice out right now due to air quality. I bought them 5 bounce balls and they're having a ball. Pun intended. Laugh
Right,
out
right.
with them inside. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Keep them babies inside today for real.
Man, is that bad, huh? Especially if you got asthma.
Something's up, man. My sinuses have definitely been jacked up the past few days. So
Might
and
be a
it's
good
always,
time to check like your air filters at home too.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's around that time. If you changed them during the beginning of spring, then you might want to look at them again for real. Ron's reviews in the chat. What's going on? Mira Sanchez says, hit the like button, please do. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers on YouTube. That's the new goal.
Yeah, man, we
I think
need
we're
it.
at around 220.
Yes. Hovering around somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Close to the halfway mark.
there you go. Something else that's happening that we kind of missed. Brother McKinney turned 33 just recently.
Hey.
So yeah, man. More power to the people. He gave his little testimony on his page, man, and it's amazing to think that this young brother right here is doing such big things for the city, man. Just turning 33, still a baby.
Man.
So
Man.
shout out to brother McKinney.
I'm just stepping in my 30s and I'm feeling like, man,
Transitions. Proud of y'all, man. Proud of your young folks, man.
Yeah, man. For me, like making it to 20, like they had that young black man never make it to 25, like you make it to 25 type deal. I really felt that. Like, it's man, I got a few that didn't make it this far. You know what I mean? So
Good.
man, yeah. Hopefully I'll be blessed with more days to come.
That's what's up. Love that. Pop says, hey, don't feel bad about technical difficulties. I once got on stage in Japan and opened my mouth to sing and nothing came out. Talk about a surprise.
Man.
Now, is that because nothing came out of your mouth or nothing came out of the microphone?
Man, it's crazy how you be reading my mind sometimes. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, it was like, were you like the Little Mermaid? Did you lose your voice?
Could have been, yeah. You don't know. We don't know what's happening.
Like Pootie Tang. He said my mouth. Okay, say hello, Pootie Tang going on up there.
So you had personal technical difficulties. All right, I hear that.
Okay.
Ah, man. Gwen Easter said, "Good morning, good morning." Yeah, I can see it. I can see it happening. I bet you that was real confusing too. Just like, and the sound man was over there like, his mic is up. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
This Eric Phelps says the state realized they really did need to spend COVID PPE funds. So I have a 4K air purifier upstairs and a 3K one in the play school room. With furnace filters, we're good. Man, I need one of those bad boys. Yeah,
but your house smell good.
So is that the first time we heard a positive story about PPE?
Maybe, man. Maybe they've been locking folk up, man.
Every time we run across somebody getting locked up for false PPE paperwork. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, all right, that's what's up. I need to come over there and see what a $4,000 air purifier does for your system.
Man, yeah, come smell the air.
You walk into her spot, and you're like, I can breathe.
Man,
blows out straight pure oxygen out of that mug.
Man, be like Craig and Day when they hit Rachel Cucamonga. Taste the air.
Rancho Cucamonga. Oh man, hey, appreciate everybody coming on. Malik Rogers in the chat. He said it's about to get ugly. Vinny Palermo is pleading guilty to charges. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, he's going to go ahead and plead guilty.
Yeah, man.
We haven't really said too much about that situation. I mean, we reported on it when it happened, but haven't really been keeping up.
I mean, we was recently officially removed from city council, so there's still that vacant seat. That's definitely an update we should look out for. Who's going to replace his seat? What's going to happen with that? But yeah, I mean, he's pleading guilty. I mean, there's not really much else to report. It's kind of a done deal on that situation.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate to abuse the position.
Oh, okay. Oh, Miss Circleville said she the plug.
Who's the plug? What she said?
She said, "Whispers hit me up. They recently sent a few." Hey, Paul B, man, you know the way sinuses be kicking your butt, man. You might need to holler at her.
I'll be in there. Is this what the world smells like? Yeah, man, that's what's up. She says if my son said if I spray Febreze, he's gonna clown me. I heard that. That's funny. Miss Marion Williams in the chat. She says, happy Friday. Good morning to you. She says, appreciating a post today by Senator McKinney about the new prison being announced on his B day. Oh, he's not holding back. Posted in First Sky. That's what's up.
We'll definitely talk about that today.
Grab that one for sure. Yes.
Yeah. I guess let's go ahead and dive into the headlines a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Let the people know, at least now that we got this show on the road.
Wow.
Still a Freaky Friday edition, but we're gonna try to do the thing. Again, talking about what y'all talking about. Again, shout out to Miss Marion Williams for bringing that to our attention. We'll definitely look at what's going on. Pillen made the recent announcement: 1,500 beds, more beds coming to the Lincoln area in the form of a new prison. Hopefully, the conversation is surrounding this replacing NSP, the Nebraska State Penitentiary, which is severely outdated and overcrowded. But again, there's also talk that it won't close. So we'll definitely dive into that situation, look at what's going on with that. But yeah, more prisons.
Yeah, man. We knew it was coming, and I think they are just announcing where it's going to be now.
Yep.
But yeah, it is kind of interesting when you think about the only people that are in there fighting for prison reform happens to be on the man's birthday. That interesting time for a Pillen announcement. I don't know if it was. It's probably serious. I mean, they I don't think they organized enough to be that petty, but still interesting.
Maybe.
Here's that quote she was talking about right here. New plantation announced on my B day. Perfect timing. Not a replacement, decommission, closed, just adjusting capacity. People still will be housed there. More tax dollars for incarceration, not rehab or corrections. No sentencing reforms considered. Either y'all don't care though.
Man, yeah, we'll definitely be diving into that. Went to a meeting that Senator McKinney had with some area Democrats, and yeah, some very interesting questions. It was all about really the prison situation and prison reform. So yeah, we'll definitely dive into that conversation. Also got to dive into what's going on with the Pillen administration. Our partners over at Flatwater Free Press dropped a bombshell in regards to their use of executive privilege, quote unquote, to withhold records. Again, transparency is a part of the reason why we do what we do, to hold the powers that be, if you will, accountable. But we can't do that if we don't know what they're doing. So we'll definitely have to dive into this situation. Again, Governor Pillen apparently not being very upfront. And that's definitely a cause for concern when you look at some of the new hirings that Pillen has made, specifically the CEO of, again, the state's Department of Health and Human Services, who is now, being called out for a sketchy past, to say the least. And again, DHHS has already in itself been wrapped up in a lot of turmoil over the last years, especially with its handling of the child welfare cases. Again, a lot of caseworkers are overworked, sometimes having 2 to 3 times the limit of casework that they're actually supposed to have, and not really hearing much about updates or changes in that situation. So yeah, we'll definitely look into that right there.
Yep.
We got some TIF updates. Again, we do talk about TIF a lot here on the show, and this time outside of Tiff Alley. Finally, a Tiff project coming to North Omaha, to the to the side of 24th and Lake. Man, Tiff coming to the Deuce. So yeah, we'll dive into what is the future of that northeast corner right there on 24th and Lake. Again, if you were down there for Omaha Days, you saw that big gaping hole where the Omaha Small Business Tech Hub used to be, and now it's going to be North End Teleservices, or at least a part of North End Teleservices. It's going to be some apartments and other things. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that and more. As always, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. And, let your mind be free. More importantly, let your voice be heard.
Speaking of the chat, Malik Rogers in there says, so far, 2 out of the 4 changed their plea. Somebody's taking the fall.
Talking about Vinny Palermo.
Vinny Palermo situation. Marlon Harrison in the chat says, I don't know why Nebraska is building prisons when just the other day they were on the news complaining about how they were short-staffed. What's going to happen there when you're short-staffed?
That's a good question. They've been short-staffed for quite some years, and that's not really a situation that we thought about. Well, I thought about, I'll say.
Well, I thought about it a little bit when I was going over the mayor's budget and what money was going to where, and I think that there's the plan to put a whole bunch of money in hiring a whole bunch of people in law enforcement. So maybe that's what they're counting on. Who knows? But yeah, it is kind of interesting. That they keep on it's almost like you're doing I don't know if you can call it doing stuff backwards, but it feels like it sometimes. Like I guess if you build it, they will come, which is their motto.
Come from where?
Right. Mama God gives us a good morning. Good morning to you, Mama God. Appreciate you coming on in. Facebook, share the show if you get a chance. Do us a favor, share the show, get as many people in talking as we can. I didn't give a shout out to the radio listeners this morning. So shout out to you. I hope that you are still with us, even though there was that glitch in the Matrix earlier. Yeah, but I appreciate it. And if you're a part of the 630 crew and you heard the mix, let us know. And let us know what you got going on this weekend, too. Love to hear from you as well.
Yeah. Also, then check in, man, before we dive into the stories. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just excited. There's a bunch of stuff going on this weekend at the theater. Of course, our own Beaufield Berry, who was she did that play Red Summer that was pretty huge out here, and now she's got a new one called Six Guns Running. It's basically a black woman Western musical.
Okay.
So it's gonna be it's opening night is tonight. We'll definitely talk about some of that stuff. It's looking pretty close to sold out for these 3 days here. So 18th, 19th, and 20th. 20th, Southern Spoon is going to be providing the brunch on the 20th.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
Up to yeah, that's what I'm saying. Late day brunch. I'm with it all day long. So it's going down. So we're just gearing up for this. Last minute preparations, printing of the playbill, so on and so forth. Gearing up for this weekend. Last night was a Red Velvet Curtain open mic, which is they passed the mic down from Verbal Gumbo to this now new monthly event that we have over at Benson Theater. Michelle Trosclair. Some cats came in from out of town. Let me tell you how popular this thing is getting. Some people were out of town. One was deep in Iowa somewhere, and they were like, "Man, I'm itching to get on an open mic. What's happening?" Got online and found us. Drove an hour and a half down to come spit. And a couple guys, some truckers that came through too. One particular guy that's a trucker that was just driving through, was going to stop in Omaha, and he was like, "Well, if I'm here, let me see what's happening." Came over, and he's from Texas, and he's one of the most prolific spoken word people we've ever heard in our lives.
Really?
He blew our minds. It was incredible,
man.
And then of course our own Augie Kid got up and did his thing on stage. So it was good, man. It was good. It was a good night. And some good things happening over at the theater for sure. So shout out to Michelle Trosclair for still being over there holding things down in a lot of ways, and shout out to the crew. And so we're just gearing up. Shout out to Beaufield Berry on her debut tonight. So that's what's going on with us.
Beautiful. Wasn't Sand the featured artist last night too?
Oh man, Sand was the featured artist.
Man, Sand is dope. Man. Sand is dope.
Blowing me away. The last time I really saw Augie or Sand really do their thing was a few years back. So the progression of them as artists is just incredible.
Oh yeah, she's completely changed her look, changed her sound. Like, yeah. Big shout out to San, shout out to my man Aggie Kid, shout out to that whole platform, man. If you're looking for some good art, check them out.
For real, for real. Before we jump into the story, just want to jump back into the chat real quick. Marianne Williams says the bait and switch regarding the prison as being a replacement with plans exposed to continue operations at the old one is concerning, to say the least.
Man,
you already knew what they was going to do. This is exactly how you should put it too, bait and switch.
right.
Malik Rogers says OPS expelling black students at a high rate, so they might shift some education money to juvenile justice prison programs. That's the fear. Von Chapman says Nebraska is 37th in the nation in job creation. So how is affordable housing going to fix the ability to afford affordable housing on the plantation? Good questions. Good questions. This is stuff that we continue to talk about all the time. If you guys have any opinions, any data, anything about it, we're here to talk about these things for sure. We definitely have some evergreen topics. Housing, affordable housing is something that comes up, has been coming up for years for us now, because we still really can't get a complete definition, and we certainly can't get any affordable housing happening. And like Brother Chapman is saying, what's happening if you can't afford the affordable housing? Where's the jobs? Where's the business? Where's the economic development? So that's why we also keep up with that stuff too. And come Monday, we'll be talking to the senators, Senator Terrell McKinney and Senator Justin Wayne, once again getting some updates on what's going on with the 1024 money and some of the things that are going on. And then, of course, like Buddy was talking about, we'll be talking about what's happening on 24th and Lake, a 70-something million dollar project that's about to come over there. And some of it is housing.
Yeah.
And we're wondering about how affordable it is. So we'll be jumping into that for real. But Buddy, what you itching to jump into right now?
Man, I usually start off with the people. Definitely, appreciate everybody commenting into the chat. Not quite sure. I guess we'll go ahead and dive into this 24th and Lake story, because that's where we're at, and then we'll dive into this prison, because more beds, but
More beds.
for who is the question with both of these situations. Again, if you're looking at what's going on at 24th and Lake, again, a big gaping hole right on the northeast corner of that area where the old Omaha small business tech hub was, and actually before that was a grocery store, and now it will be a plethora of things. Actually, this new development will have workspace, living space, and retail space for all to enjoy. But we do have a few questions. First of all, letting you know that this will be the hub of apparently one of the largest and fastest black-owned businesses, or just businesses in the state, North End Teleservices. They will have the two top levels. This will actually be a 2-building development. One building will be an apartment building. The other will be again a work retail space. About 1,600 square feet, or excuse me, 16,000 square feet of retail space on the first floor of the first building alone, and then about let's see. Where is this article at? There we go. Yeah, I apologize. I mixed up on the article. So again, 16,000 square feet of retail and dining space on the first building, and then 81,000, there we go, square feet of office space on the upper 3 floors of the first building. The second building, again, will be an apartment building. Will have about 99 units. 99 units ranging from 1 to 3 bedrooms. All rents will be between $850 to $2,000. That's the big question. How much? And then, of course, parking has been a huge concern with this development. A lot of people questioning that area. What will the parking be? And apparently, there's going to be an underground parking garage that they will be adding. They're expecting about 146 parking spots for that area, including on-street parking. So, still a little skeptical about the traffic flow in that area, but I am excited about this development. I am looking forward to seeing how it will transform that area. Again, the apartment building will also include a fitness center, a daycare, and community space. And one big thing that kind of came out of our conversations with Senators Wayne and McKinney, as far as The whole economic recovery situation is the space that's going to be added. Not all businesses will be successful. Let's just call it what it is. Some of these projects, some of these applications will fail, and some of these businesses or buildings that they develop will be sitting there. So I'm looking at this as a good thing, as there now will be retail space, dining space, more people to have restaurants in North Omaha, more people to have businesses in North Omaha. If you're looking to buy business space, where do you go? Where do you go? We've talked about how that space on 72nd, those lots have remained vacant for so long. I think Radio Shack was about the only business over there for the longest, and now with the a theater closing. I mean, it's pretty much just Target, Marshalls, and Ross over there. It's about it. It's about
Mm.
it. So again, what areas can you actually get into and, and apply for and get accepted into in the area? So
Um, I'm both ways about. I'm a little skeptical about what's happening here. First of all, you're gonna fit 99 units, and that's just one of the buildings in that space where Safeway used to be.
Yep.
It's a little tight corner there. It's a little tight corner. They would have to have, and I had a question about the parking. They said they were going to do some underground parking. Okay. And then of course we got to jump back to the affordable housing part of this deal.
Yeah.
What was the range again?
850 to 2,000 for 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms.
So 850 for a 1 bedroom,
Yeah.
up to $2,000 for a 3 bedroom.
Yes.
And again, 99 units in that, just like that area. I mean, like, how tall is this building? I'm really
4 stories.
Yeah. Let me just jump into the chat. Malik Rogers says $72 million for 50 jobs. This is the reason why they have to do this second building with the housing. Like, this, how they're gonna make their money back is rent. Amy H. Dot says, speaking of affordable housing, I know of a real job opportunity for a construction project manager for a developer with a good reputation who is willing to share his knowledge for up and comers. Private message her. So that's what's up. That's good news on that.
Okay.
Definitely. Von Chapman says, will the jobs at North End Teleservices give the employees the ability to afford the housing in the building? How about a decent grocery store in the area? Very true.
Yeah. I also kind of glossed over the lead of this story. My apologies, y'all. Again, Freaky Friday. But this the city council has actually approved this project for TIF. Again, about $9.5 million in TIF will be going to this project, which in total is about $72.5 million for both buildings for the entire project. So to Brother Malik's point, yeah, 72.5 million for the project is not actually just 50 jobs. Apparently, they will be adding about 50 more people to the workforce. The employees who already work for North End Teleservices will be moving to that building, and then they will be adding 50 more, according to this article from Omaha World Herald. And all North End Teleservices will apparently occupy the top 2 floors of the first building.
Okay. We'll move on down the road. Miss Erica Fell says, I'm excited about it. Okay. Brother Knight says, sounds like future planning for Creighton expansion. Yeah. I mean, when I'm thinking about those kinds of prices, who can afford that? Well, maybe kids that are able to go to Creighton can, and it's pretty close. A lot of Creighton students there, kind of like Hardy Coffee is over there in Highlander. You walk into Hardy Coffees, a lot of dogs, a lot of white folks, a lot of dogs, a lot of white folks, and they, this is people studying and hanging out down the street from Creighton. And it's fun. Some people feel like we need to be bringing in people with money into the neighborhood to up the neighborhood that way, which is fine if nobody's getting displaced.
Right.
But who are they expecting to come through and be in these spaces? Ms. Gwen Easter said it's not affordable for people making minimum wage. It's not affordable for people making above minimum wage. Some of this.
I mean, remember, you got to make three times the rent. So
in order to even qualify for some of this stuff.
Right. So we talking about $6,000 a month.
Yeah. Mr. Rickenfeld says it's being created by black business and using black contractor.
It is. That's another important part of the story. The The company is Blair Freeman Group.
Yeah.
Ashley Kuhn, who's the president of the Black-owned construction company, said that developers do intend to apply again for financing through ARPA.
I remember us reporting on this project a while back. It was very significant that this was a 3 black woman owned company that was heading up all this construction, and that's what's up. We never really got a chance to talk to anybody from that company, but Miss Kuhn did come to our happy hour at Benson Theater recently, and we got to say hello. And yeah, I would love to reach out and have her come and talk about this project. I do like the positives that Miss Erica Feld is bringing up for sure. I do like the positives about it. But she's also wondering, I wonder if they'll accept Section 8. We know that there was a big move to not allow to move people who were on Section 8 to certain areas out west.
Yeah.
Amy H. Dot is reminding us too. We need to build up the construction contacts in our Black-owned business directory. That's pinned to Friends of First Sky Omaha. It's pinned at the top. So if you are a company or you're a contractor, you want to get your name on this black business list that we're putting together, go ahead and hit up the Friends of First Sky Omaha and do that there. Malik Rogers says need to slow down on retail and office spaces. Start with the grocery store.
Man, we actually had if you remember that whole conversation we had during the whole land bank story we were doing when we went out and we had that conversation with the board member of the land bank. We were talking about a grocery store. That's what we were talking about, bringing in a grocery store to the community, and could land bank land be used for that, and what would that look like? And just remember the guy getting into a bunch of semantics about displacement, like Walmart coming into a community and displacing the businesses versus a mom and pop shop, and whether the people want it. And yeah, it was a very interesting conversation.
I got a question though. Like, we talk about grocery stores in the area. What do people not consider like Phil's Foodway a neighborhood grocery store, or Chubb's, or even like we're still north side when you're going up Ames in the 50s and you up there by Walmart, why is it? And then there's Aldi's right there on 30th and close to Sorensen. Like, why are we acting like we don't have grocery stores?
I mean, but looking at the area, to be honest, like if you live in that area, talking about 24th and Lake, there's a lot of houses over there. What grocery store is near there? I think
Aldi's or Chubb's.
Aldi's, I don't consider that close to 24th and Lake. You gotta hop on a couple buses, and you gotta hop on a bus and go a couple routes, maybe a couple buses, to get to the Aldi's on 30th.
The 30th and Sorensen?
From 24th and Lake?
You go up 24th, you make a left on Ames. You almost right. It's not that far.
If you got a car.
You talking about having grocery stores from walking distance from your house? I mean,
not everybody has a car.
What
about the elderly? What about the people that live in that area?
But I mean, other neighborhoods don't all have grocery stores in their walking distance neighborhood. It's not like we suffering out here. Then nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like people in other neighborhoods also got to drive to the grocery store. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
So you don't see a need for a grocery store on 24th and Lake?
On 24th and Lake? I don't think. No, I don't see.
Or at least the Deuce.
I don't think that a grocery store ought to be in the historical district of 24th and Lake Street area. No, I wouldn't go to 24th and Lake to go grocery shopping. I want to go down there and hear some jazz or see some. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's I don't know why there needs to be a walking distance grocery store there. I'm not saying that it doesn't need that there's not some food desert stuff going on there. I'm just saying, why are we acting like Phil's Foodway, Chubb's, and all these other places aren't grocery stores in the hood, and all these places that are close?
Man, Amy H. Dot, who does development and construction projects, she's telling us, she says the reality of development is that you need some retail to attract a grocery store. So, there's order to this thing, but yeah, man, I don't know. I think about that area, man, and I could see maybe not, right in the heart, maybe not on 24th and Lake, but somewhere between Lake and Cumming.
Yeah, I can see somewhere between Lake and Cumming for sure.
Maybe where that Family Dollar used to be, that'd be a perfect spot for a grocery store, or it still is behind, like right behind the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, people go to Family Dollar for groceries and stuff. Something like they do go there to not have to drive any further and get some stuff from there. I'm not I'm like I said, I'm not saying that there should definitely be some more development there with all kinds of stuff like grocery stores, but we also got some stuff there already. I'm not sure where we're at with feeling like we I mean, I don't know any community that you can just walk to the grocery store. Everybody takes the bus or drives or gets gets an Uber or whatever the deal. I'm just saying what I would like to see more of is people being able to afford their homes around that area and be able,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying, and have jobs good enough to be able to have a car to drive to the grocery store or whatever the deal. But like, I don't know if us always going, we need a grocery store in the area before we need anything else is the answer, because we do got grocery stores. I was just at the Culture House the other day. I had to get some ice. Augie
Where'd
Kid
you
was
go?
like, Augie Kid was like, Chubbs is right up the street. Went up, made a left, went right to it. It's right there on the other. It's right. It's pretty close to 24th. Like,
Yeah.
you
I give
know,
you Chubbs. I give you Chubbs. Aldi, that's a little distance, but I give you Chubbs.
Aldi's is not too far from the Culture House, bro. It's a hop skip. It's 5 minutes, less than 2 minutes away. Let's jump back into the chat because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
getting
Chat's
away
going
from us
off.
now. Yeah, Malik Rogers says I need to slow down. Okay, Brother Knight said ain't nobody in that neighborhood could afford $850 for one bedroom. I mean, in any place in Omaha, it's like getting really
Yeah.
ridiculous.
What's the math on that?
Marianne Williams says this is a good time to remind everyone that the legislature is studying what affordable housing means, quote unquote, affordable housing next month. Call or write the senators to share your thoughts. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder. We'll definitely do that. Stacey Jean says, good morning, First Sky Omaha family and friends. Good morning. Von Chapman says AI will be a problem for all teleservices company going forward. I would love to
Mm.
talk to Miss Tapio and find out exactly what's on her mind when it comes to the AI situation with her particular business and what the future is for sure. Miss Erica Felt says because of the starting price for the one bedroom, I think they'll take Section 8. Okay. T Ren first of all, I passed up somebody who I never saw in the chat before. Let me see if I can go up and find it. Living in Omaha, David Matney is in the chat over on YouTube.
Okay.
Appreciate you for joining us, maybe for the first time. He says right now Omaha area is 35,000 housing units short.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
facts. Thank you for that information. Yes,
thank you
that's
for that. Yeah,
definitely fact.
and we'll look into your business. Living in Omaha looks like you have a business that's keeping track of these things. So we appreciate that information.
Mm.
Definitely, we'll check out and look and see what's going on. But 35,000 housing units short. I'd like to know what the parameters are there. Why, how we come to that number? Is that how many people are reaching out for housing? Like
Mm.
what does that mean exactly?
Yeah.
T Ren over on YouTube says affordable as the definition isn't complicated. As a definition, that's right. It's got to be affordable for who can afford it. Marion Williams says Creighton forces students to live on campus until junior year, so there's not a lot of students in off campus housing, small school. Okay.
Okay. I was thinking about that because from the previous comment, I was like, is that the plan? Is that the plan? Because some universities do invest in, areas for off-campus living for their students. And could Creighton be eyeing 24th? Like they're not doing nothing with it, but that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Moving on, Creighton, let's see. Malik Rogers says, I agree with Stewart. What black Omaha business can afford to buy office space? Good question. I missed that from Brother Stewart. But that is a really great question too. We talk about that all the time too. Office space can be $1, $2, $3 a square foot. You can end up paying $2,000, $3,000 for an office that's only 2 or 3,000 square feet.
mhm.
What kind of business do you have? What does this mean? When you think about what black businesses are on that list, who on the list that we have on Friends of First Sky Omaha, who could afford $3,000 a month rent on office space? These are also good questions. Let's see. T. Ren says, I wonder if the apartments on 20th Hamilton built not long ago take Section 8. Good question. Ms. Erica Phil says, that's not a bad thing if they accept Section 8. I have a feeling that due to the federal funds, it will have 30% Section 8 or lower income qualified renting. I do remember reading something about when the Highlander accelerator buildings were built, like they had to have a cross section of people in a sliding scale system, and then
Mhm.
there's some people that could be Section 8 in those areas. So we'll have to see. We'll have to understand that. I'm sure that they have all that figured out if they already are going forward with this construction, because they figure out all the numbers about how much money they're gonna make back on
Oh
all of
yeah.
that. T. Ren says definitely happy for the black businesses that will be involved, though, for sure. Marion Rim says T. Ren agree, but right now you can call anything affordable for tax breaks.
That part.
Remember, they have tons of medical and dental students talking about Creighton. Amy H. Dot says Ashley Kuhn and Miranda Adams are good people. Yep,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely are. And Miss Tapio. So everybody involved in that situation,
Mhm.
good people trying to do something for the deuce. And I
Man.
ain't mad at it. I'm just trying to figure out if it can involve everyone more, for sure. Stuart Brother Knight says, hell, there was a grocery store in the area and it failed, lack of support. I mean, yeah, they putting these new buildings on the Safeway plot. It used to be Safeway back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, even somebody also in the chat mentions the Fair Deal, grocery store, which is still over there, but how much support are they receiving?
Right. Miss Erica Phil says the grocery stores are on the edge of North. Aldi is for Florence people. Well, I don't see it like that. I don't really see it like that. When I'm in Florence, I hear Baker's, Family Fare.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All these I lived on Spalding Street. All these was on this side for me. It's kind of a side, like past the college is Florence people. So I don't
Mhm.
know. However you look at it. Black Dynamite gives us a good morning. Good morning to you, my brother. Appreciate you. Wanda Lewis says it later was revealed that Blair Freeman did not have the license necessary to obtain insurance. So all the construction work will have to be contracted to other companies. Blair and Freeman role will be facilitating. Okay.
Okay. Some more
Good information.
information on that. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Von Chapman says childcare will be free for the employees and possibly for the residents in the building. What does that do for the other area childcare providers in the area? I can see what you trying to start some mess with that question. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there.
Kicking up dust. It's a good question though. It's a good question. First of all, I didn't know that the child care would be free for the employees. That's good. But
Yeah.
yeah, who's going to run that and how would that impact competition in the area?
Yep. Jump down a little bit. There's some conversations going on inside the chat together. That's great. Amy H. Dot says the reality of development is that you need some retail to attract the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
She also says I think a cool neighborhood small grocery option would be a great on the deuce.
Yeah, something small. Yeah, it got to be a full operation, but I don't know. Maybe Heart Ministries they offer a pantry situation. They also offer laundry services. Maybe affordable grocery store or something like that.
Yeah. And remember, the Fair Deal was that small grocery store that they were
Yeah.
trying to do in the area.
Yep.
And there was fresh stuff there, but there was also very much, convenience store stuff there too. And it was hard to
Processed.
shop. It's hard to shop there.
Yeah, and I heard they had issues sourcing. Like they had issues, keeping things in stock and keeping, sourcing materials and goods, to continue to, keep the store full.
Yep. David Matney's back saying, what about affordable expanding grocery delivery service as a temporary stopgap measure? Good idea.
Now that's an idea. See, those are kind of chats that's gonna keep you around. Great comment,
Gonna call him a chat chimer in a minute.
man. Great comment.
Before we move on here, I want to shout out to Wanda Lewis, who's talking about the Ernie Chambers Court. We never really talked about that too much. Ernie Chambers Court is about to be sold. She says, excuse me, the rent will also be extremely high after renovations due to being located to near downtown and all other new developments. Yeah, that Ernie Chambers Court, I can't remember what street that's on, but when I don't know if I talked to you guys, I don't know if I ever told the chat, but I used to live in Omaha in my early 20s. I came out here for a year to live with my great grandfather in the 90s. He was running a flooring company, and so I jumped in to work with him right away. And one of the first jobs I did was laying floors over at the Ernie Chambers Court. Built apartments. So I got a chance to look at those things inside and out, the basement apartments, the upstairs apartments. I thought it was a really great complex, and I thought it was cool that it was in North Omaha, close to downtown. And I always thought, man, if they ever sell this building, this is going to be prime real estate.
Man,
It's right next to downtown. It's got a nice little courtyard in the middle. So if they, and of course they're going to come and update and renovate if anybody buys it. whoever buys it is going to be doing that. So it'll be tough. Marion Williams says Section 8 isn't being phased out as far as a government program, but more and more landlords refuse to take it as payment. Also, more hoops to get Section 8. Long line of people to get Section 8. They may take Section 8, but it may be hard for people to get Section 8 these days.
Mm-hmm. Also might be far from, where you live. A lot of Section 8 is being pushed out west. Not necessarily being phased out, but it's not being offered really in North Omaha as much.
Exactly. I'm going to jump into a quick video real quick. That'll give us a little idea here about what's happening with this development. Check it out.
Are now announced. North End Teleservices plans to spend tens of millions of dollars redeveloping the corner of 24th and Lake Streets.
John Chapman reports that project will also include much needed housing in the area.
Plans have been drawn up, and in a couple of years, a 4-story building will sit in what is now an empty lot.
We're planning on putting a lot at 24th and Lake Streets. We are, first of all, excited to have new corporate offices for North End Teleservices. Our company continues to grow. We continue to add jobs.
Right now, plans are for North End Teleservice to occupy the 3rd and 4th floors of the new development. Founder and president of the teleservices company, Carmen Tapio, tells us the lobby will be an open space that could also be used for community meetings and events. There will be room for food services and a retail space. The plan also calls for a daycare to be constructed.
It is the largest private investment ever made in North Omaha. So that 65 to 80 million includes the primary phase 1 building, which is the mixed-use retail. In addition to that, we are building 80 to 100 apartments that are on the site plan.
But that's not all. There are also plans to build single-family homes on Ohio Street, just north of the project.
Right now, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 homes, a lot of cottage-style homes, some multi-story homes, and so we're going to make sure that it fits into the community as well.
On your side in North Omaha, I'm John Chapman, 6 News.
All right, John Chapman, appreciate that very much. There you go. There's a look at it. There's a look at what it kind of looks like, what it's going to look like. And a little bit of new information. Didn't realize there was going to be some homes built around the area too. So,
okay.
I'm a mix, man. I'm excited about it, but I'm also, are we all going to be able to thrive from it? And furthermore, my ultimate question before we move on here too is with all that construction right there, what's going to happen with the showcase building across the street? That's just what I need to know.
Hey, questions that need answers. Questions that need answers. Yeah.
Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll
be Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. It is coming up on the 8 o'clock hour if you believe in the concept of time. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, smell the coffee beans, and come back on some other subjects that we need to be talking about today before we get to our special guest, Kethro, that'll be on just about 15 minutes. So stay tuned for him. Once again, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha Radio. It's happening right now, y'all. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B. the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Hey.
Going down for Chad Shimer's Ghost listeners, radio listeners. Thanks for joining us. Again, it is Freaky Friday. It is Haps Friday. Get your haps together. We'll have an extensive haps at the end of the show. We're going to talk about all the things that's going on this weekend and the week coming up, and looking for you to tell us what we need to be looking out for as well. So appreciate that in advance. Go ahead and get your haps together so you can throw them in. And if you don't have time to do it today, you can always put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha, where we take a look at what's going on a daily basis. Shout out to everybody that is putting articles in Friends of First Sky Omaha for us to check out. We have some people in there that is doing it pretty regularly, and it really helps. It helps us shape the direction of what our conversations will be like on Monday, Wednesday, Friday with y'all. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
Buddy, how you feeling over there right now?
Feeling good. Definitely, man, the chat kind of got away from us, but that's a good thing. A lot of people, again, sharing their thoughts and letting their voice be heard. So we appreciate that. Didn't get to all the chat. So, apologize if, we skipped over your comment. But keep them coming. We definitely appreciate, the conversation going already at 100 messages already. So, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
A lot to say about this
housing situation. Yeah, man. Actually, before we move on, I did want to add some very valuable information. Mr. Was that David Mogney? I can't see the last name. I apologize, but Brother David, again, talking about the delivery services, and actually Miss Erica Felt coming in with some more information, saying currently Walmart is the only store that accepts SNAP online for delivery, must still pay the delivery fee or annual subscription, and both require either credit or checking debit card. She also says many low-income people can't get bank accounts. So it's a great comment as far as adding and expanding delivery services for grocery stores in that area. So definitely thank you.
Yep. Kimmer Snipe in the chat. Good morning to you.
Hey.
Carmen Tapio introduced me to my professional coach. I wanted someone not from Omaha. Keep these folks out of my business.
Hey.
Yeah,
I feel that.
We haven't had Miss Tapio on ever, so I'd love to have her on, talk a little bit about what she's been doing. Number one growing small business in the country. Like, she got some nationwide awards for what's going on with the teleservices. My question is, what you gonna do about AI? I really want to know.
Yeah.
How's it gonna affect business?
It's a great question.
But moving on. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. Go ahead and pivot and actually still talk about kind of housing things. Keep an eye on your OPPD bill because again, as more development comes into North Omaha and comes into just the Omaha area, with Tiff Alley continuing to grow, and you got to know that there's going to be more investment in the downtown. They still haven't even built that new Omaha Mutual. That's what we go. Mutual of Omaha building. And all of these buildings will need power. Let's be honest. We haven't really talked about infrastructure with all of this development and investment coming to the area. But that is something that OPPD apparently is planning for. Members of the Omaha Public Power District Board voted 8-0 unanimously on Thursday to move forward with a historic $2 billion expansion plan that will nearly double the utility's electric generating capacity over the next decade, which is huge news, not just with the massive amount of development. Again, we have a $60 million business park that's coming by the airport. It's going to need power again. And we already know that the OPPD power and just the Omaha power grid is kind of lacking. We've seen what can happen when just a severe winter storm comes, and again communities are left with for weeks without power. So again, you can imagine the development that's coming into the area will add more strain to the system. So I am excited about this. I do think that this is a good thing. About nearly 90% of the projected new development OPPD is striving to meet is coming from industrial customers, very large business enterprises that are heavy energy users. Roughly 2/3 of that new demand, apparently, according to OPPD, is from data centers, the digital warehouses powering the nation's work from home shift and allowing the sharing of back to school pictures on social media, which we do know that there are a few Facebook and Google data centers supposedly coming to the area. To meet the demand, and the utility will add a fleet of new generation plants, mostly renewable sources like wind and solar, the plants that burn natural gas. But the utility says about 90% of the actual energy generated will be from renewable resources, which will allow OPPD to continue reducing its climate changing emissions. Of course, I'm pretty sure I can hear everyone's mind going as far as what does this mean for the North Omaha coal plant. I'm not really seeing much, but hopefully this will, lead to changes in that area that we've been calling for quite a time, especially with, again, the new, I guess, leaning or step towards, again, renewable resources, more solar, more wind, power generating plants coming to the area. So yeah, what say you? Before we get into that, also there may be hikes to your bill as a result of this. So yeah, look for that as well.
You've been burying the lead all day long.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking. Why we got to pay for their upgrades? We already, so yeah, rate hikes because they're trying to shore up what they need to have for all this new infrastructure, but also like shoring it up because of the fact that at one point we realized that some of our energy was coming from Texas, and if things was happening on that trail, we were suffering up here. So more independence. Also, my question is, where is all this renewable energy stuff going to go? Where is the windmills going to be at? Is this some more stuff they're going to put on the north side? What would it mean? What will it mean? And my biggest question is what Black Dynamite is asking right now. What does this mean for my OPPD bill? Period. And I already, this whole article was about rate hikes. They're going to, they anticipate upping your rates because of all this new construction and new stuff that they're doing. So it feels a little bit like you got to pay for them to upgrade, which is weird. So,
I think we should look more at because just the existence of OPPD, I do know that it is a unique situation. Again, they have a board. It is, if I'm not mistaken, the only publicly elected board or publicly elected power situation in the country. I know there's not a lot of power situations similar to OPPD. So I don't think it's a private. I think the people have to pay for it. I don't think it's a private company that some major investor can bankroll. I think this is something public that the people will have to pay for.
We better file the money on that. I don't think it is just the public paying for it. We'll have to file the money on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll look. Actually, shout out to Eric Williams, who you might see a lot in North Omaha. I remember he came. He would come to the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation a lot. I don't know if you remember that, Paul. Around his election, and will come to talk about the bike trail situation. But he is the OPPD board chairman, so maybe we can bring him on. He does say that highlights the fact that the utility is experiencing significant, unprecedented growth and demand for energy. And specifically for the clean energy. So, I will definitely be looking more into that. I don't see how much rates are expected to hike as a report or as a result of this. Here it is. It says OPPD officials project the plan will roughly require a 10% increase in rates, which will be phased in over 4 years, beginning in 2027. So, a little time to prepare for it, but a 10% increase.
Everything is a bait and switch.
Man.
Omaha, that's Omaha style, bait and switch. No, I'm just playing. It don't sound too bad, but something to keep your eye on. It's interesting to keep your eye on that bill all the time. Anyway, there's always seems to be something that's being raised on it all the time. Be interesting to see. Von Chapman in the chat is saying, "What was it ever determined? What health issues might be as a result of that coal plant?" Yeah. We did a report on brain cancer in babies that seems to be higher in Omaha, Nebraska, due to the environment and people living around the coal plant in North Omaha. That's the reason why everybody's all up in arms about getting that thing moved, and they keep kicking the can down the road about when they're gonna move it.
Yep. Asthma rates.
I have to check in with Kimra Snipes. I think she was part of talking to MUD about some of this stuff. I'll have to check in with you, Miss Snipes, if that's true and there was any information you have, let us know. She said, "Come around during election season, have him on the show." You talking about who? You talking about having on the show?
Eric Williams. She
Oh,
says
Brother
before. She
Williams.
said they all come around during election season. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very true, very true. Brother Knight says those data centers are already built. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be much more like the whole airport complex. Plus, they're expanding Google in Iowa. I don't know how much any of that energy is going to Iowa, Council Bluffs area. So we'll see about any of that.
And it's not just the Omaha area. OPPD offers power for a large part of eastern Nebraska. I think it says about 13 some odd counties fall under this jurisdiction, if you will. So
yeah. Wanda Lewis in the chat says, just like our water bill increased when they started the sewer separation project, just recently they put in new city sidewalks in the Mini-Lusa area, and they billed the homeowners for it. For those that don't pay, there will be a lien on their property. See what I'm saying? Bait and switch stuff going. There's, I don't know, man. It's, public utilities especially is you really got to keep your eye on that kind of stuff, because there's nothing you can do. You have to have them. And so it's like if you don't have some checks and balances in place, you can get real out of hand. It feels like that with MUD sometimes for me. Like, how in the world? Von Chapman says the OPPD is willing to sacrifice the people in the local neighborhood for future profit. Kicking the can down the road on moving that.
Like Paul said, got follow the money.
David Matney back in the chat says some of the health issues was from the 125 year of the Arcerco lead smelting plant. Huge lead issues. We talk about lead issues in our neighborhood all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you're kind of new to the show, so welcome. But we definitely talk about lead a lot here. Actually, I was a part of the Lead Coalition back in school, going around from school to school as an actor in a play to kind of educate young folk and educate the community about the dangers of lead in the area. Not to mention, the old houses with lead paint, and there's a lot of lead in the area that is still being cleaned up. So that's a big issue as well. Also, further down, speaking of MUD, Sister Kimra is asking us if MUD in the city ever got over their little disagreement about the streetcar. Again, there was some controversy or whether or not where to put the streetcar, or whether or not the construction will hit some pipes or hit some lines and things like that. I don't know if that ever got worked out either, so I'll have to look into that. Thanks for asking.
Malik Rogers says sounds like a lawsuit needs to be started. Says Chicago was successful with their lawsuits. Might be something to look into.
Okay.
Amy H. Dot is saying we need folks to go to the OPPD and MUD board meetings for sure.
Man, documenters.
Hopefully we can get documenters to go for that. Also, one last comment here, David Matney says that the government supposedly cleaned it up. That is, if you trust the government.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody who. Oh, I can't wait to hear about the streetcar board meetings. She's, Amy H. Dot says something's wild and it's juicy. We got to see.
Okay.
But it's about 8:14 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we got a special guest waiting in the wings. We can go ahead and bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. My man Kethro is in the house. What's up, dude?
What's good? What's good?
My man got the setup.
Man, there we go. There we go. Sounded like butter.
Correct. You know how to come correct.
So you got to come correct to come on here. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through, man. All set up and ready for us.
I have to admit, for many moons, I've been a ghost listener. I chime in every now and then, but I'm 1,000% a ghost listener for sure. I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Oh yeah, definitely appreciate the support, man. We still consider you a part of the fam, man. For those who don't remember, again, back in the Minor Soul days, had the jazz nights going live on the station. Here you guys are still going strong with that, man. So yeah, just nice to catch up with you, man. Good to see you.
Ditto. I love where you guys have gone with everything, and it's just the show's just been really great and keeps me up to date what's happening in the community, and the listeners especially. Respect to all y'all. Like, without everybody that contributes, I would definitely be in the dark about the BTS of Omaha.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Chad Chimers for real. Can't do it without them. Man, we're gonna start with some of the people that don't know who you are and what you do, man. If you can give a little rundown about about who you are, what you do, and then we'll expound upon how important you are to Omaha, because I know you're too humble to talk about all that. But tell us who you are, and we'll do the we'll do the embellishing.
Yeah, I do a lot. But currently, I work at the Beeee Center for Contemporary Arts. I help run the low-end program there, which is a concert venue and a residency program that's centered around experimental music and sound art. I'm also the music director of Fashion Week. I DJ. I'm an audio engineer full-time, basically. So I spend more time in the studio spaces and a little bit of time in the live spaces. And yeah, I try to contribute to the community as much as possible. I try to help start music programs. I'm working with a lot of nonprofits around the city to help establish better resources for musicians, DJs, producers, anybody of the like. I'm really just an advocate for the city to grow in that realm. So yeah, when it comes to music stuff or stuff that is trying to incorporate music, you may see me in a room speaking loudly and proudly to keep the music alive in the city, for sure.
That's what's up.
Man.
Yeah.
Often we talk about the fact that Omaha has no industry when it comes to the arts, especially music. I come from California, where there's a agent and a label on every corner, and it's an inevitability that you're going to do something in the music business, even if it's something as obscure as designing an album cover or anything. Here I found some of the most talented people I ever played with my whole life, but they do not venture into the professional side of music because this is not a music town as far as industry is concerned. You, though, keep proving me wrong about that by, first of all, you just being here, because the stuff that you got going on, you can be anywhere in the world. So the fact that you're here in Omaha doing it is a testament to maybe there is industry here. Maybe there is something, there's opportunities going on here. Definitely want you to talk about that a little bit, and also just talk about some of the plugs, some of the things, like go ahead and drop some names. You know what I'm saying? Like let us know what's going on as far as how Omaha is plugged into the rest of the music world.
Being humble, man. Come on, lay it on us.
Yeah, I'll say this, over a decade ago, I joined a family called Make Believe, now known as Make Believe Studios. And those guys are still, they're my brothers, and Rick Carson, who my mentor in the engineering realm, him and I had these conversations when we were in our early 20s about where is Omaha going with this music. We see these indie labels in town that were doing really interesting things, but we even started to see that they were migrating outwards, starting offices in other cities and countries even. And we felt that there was a void, and we really we saw the potential growth in this city in every other way, real estate, tech, agriculture, all those things, but music and art was very minimal. And we felt like, if we want to be able to do what we have to do, we can't really move anywhere, So Rick and, got a really good team together, got great investment, and built one of what I think is literally the best recording studio in the world. And I'm not biased, like we all put our blood, sweat, and tears into making this like a very accessible place to make the best records possible. And, within opening the second studio space from 2016, Rick, racked up 4 Grammy nominations in 3 years, so it definitely shows like the potential that Omaha people have for the hard work that we all put in. And, I have since left Make Believe as an engineer full-time, but I'm still in there a lot, and I'm hanging out with those guys, and I'm seeing the progress that they're pushing and the artists that they're developing, and it's just magnificent. Like there's about to be a whole new wave and a whole new era just coming out of that. And then moving forward, seeing with Beeee, I wanted to really help them establish a program that is centered around a type of music that isn't ever respected or heard in Omaha in the past. It's always kind of been underground. It's been super DIY. And I was like, well, they got this Mellon grant from the Mellon Foundation, which is an incredible amount of money that we're able to bring in artists from around the world and show that Omaha actually has an ecosystem. And since my time there in the past 5 years of this place being operated, I mean, we've had artists that have done incredible things come through, and every single time they come to Omaha, they're like, wow, this place is like a gem. I never knew about this. Like, one artist told me last week, she was like, yo, like, don't let people find out how cool Omaha is, because they're going to turn it into San Francisco. Ooh. And I was like, I definitely believe in that. And, but I want the city to grow. I want people to see what it is. And through eras of time, I think we've seen these moments in Omaha music history where we've had really shining moments. Let's take it back to the, jazz music in North Omaha. Paul, you have that lineage in there up until the Saddle Creek days in the 90s and 2000s. And it's like, what's next, And I think there is something bubbling in the city that I feel like I can contribute in some way to help that next light shine and grow. We do have a few heavy hitters that come out, and they're really large in the charge, but they're not really representing Omaha the way I think Omaha should be represented. It's not that they have to wear Nebraska on their T-shirts or anything, but it's just kind of surprising to me that like someone like Virgil Abloh created his first collection for Off-White, and every piece said Nebraska on it, and that brought Nebraska to a world stage more than JoJo Siwa, And no hate on JoJo Siwa. It's just she's doing her thing, but it's amazing how this cat from Chicago saw, the Nebraska's at one time had this shining light and this potential, and he wanted to show that with that particular collection. And I saw this collection in a museum in New York, and I'm like, wow, this is it's all these things are very inspiring to me. But I think through that, I also knew that if I wanted to contribute to the city, I have to focus on the next generation, the people of the future. I really tried to focus on my team, but as I grew, I really wanted to kind of focus on the kids. So, through time, I've tried to help start these music programs. Jocelyn's Kent Bellows Studio has a music program that's really, really small, but yet really effective. With my time there, the rate of those kids going to school to learn music, whether it was musicianship or music tech, which engineering, was generally like 80% of the class. Like I wrote a lot of reference letters, and a lot of those cats graduated with degrees in music. And then Omaha Performing Arts, as you may know, is starting they're opening up an educational facility where music is a heavy emphasis. I've been collaborating with them very, very closely on trying to set up spaces for them to host with their hip hop lab, which is a very primary focus where they want to teach kids every element of hip hop. And they're going to, start from the early days and move it to now. And I'm going to help them with the production stuff. We have a great team in there teaching dance, MCing, DJing, and all sorts. And they're fully funding this thing, and that's going to launch next year. So there's a lot of things that I feel like if we start establishing those things now, we're going to see these results in 8 to 10 years, where we're going to see superstars popping out. And they're, and it's all going to connect back into these things that these seeds that we planted. And so that's kind of where my mind is at now. I'm really leaning towards the future, because the now, yes, there really isn't a music industry per se, and the industry that does exist, like it's really small, and not very many people can actually get full-time steady work out of it. I see a lot of peers of mine struggle to keep up. It's actually a very depressing business to be in, simply because it's hard to see your friends go through that. So to me, it's like, well, if I can, help establish something that may create opportunity in the future, that way we could see these younger generations come up, and we won't have to see them struggle so much, and that way we can help out every generation. So it's a really long fight, and I made this decision to stay here simply because I saw that potential and growth. It's like walking into a building that's deserted, and you're like, well, we could transform this into a grocery store that's beneficial for the neighborhood. We could do these things. And you never really know how it's going to be effective until it's built, until it's done. And so
let me ask you a question real quick. So
Yeah.
you've named some institutions like the Beeee, like Omaha Performing Arts.
Yeah.
How do these tie into what's going on in North Omaha? North Omaha musicians, artists, sometimes they don't have access to places like the Beeee and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. You're naming places that is definitely a little bit. You got to be a little bit in the know and have some
Absolutely.
resources to be able to be a part of. How does any of these things tie into to tapping the talent in North Omaha, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I got to Beeee, that was like one of my first initial thoughts and goals is I realized that Beeee was kind of struggling with connecting with the community. And although they have a really strong output and a strong presence in the international way with the residency program and such, they were trying to figure out ways to connect their audio program with the community. And I think so we're doing these small steps, working in a way where we could try to bring these back. So one thing that we actually launched recently is called Community Tracks, which is a program that's open to all of Omaha. And it's basically, we give you a $1,000 stipend. You come into the Beeee studio and you get 2 days to record. I'm your engineer and we get to do whatever. And then my goal was to try to push a lot of that marketing towards North Omaha and towards in a lot of those circles and realms. And personally, like the cats that I know, I've been telling about it verbally just to try to get the conversations going. And we got a lot of great submissions. I mean, it's incredible. We will announce, so we'll do that 3 times a year. So basically there's 4 seasons, but Beeee works in 3 seasons because it's a nonprofit. So we're going to do that 3 times a year. Our first one begins in September, and then we'll begin again next year after the winter, so we can kind of start up in the spring. And then we'll have like more stuff ironed out then, more marketing a little bit more ironed out. We were just trying to figure out how to navigate and how to get that going. But that's the first step. And I think the second step is of reaching out and about getting people more involved in what we're doing programming wise there. That comes from the artists and the art that we're showcasing. We're bringing in artists from all around the world, from many different countries. Low end, we booked artists. I think we have artists from 8 countries coming, like South Africa, Venezuela, Barcelona. We really want to expose this music and art to the city in a lot of ways. So I do have these conversations about trying to market and push and try to get more exposure to what Beeee is going on in North Omaha, so people can go there and learn and see like, oh, there's people like my shade of color like making this music.
Oh yeah.
Like are there's people that are like doing this, we book a lot of women, a lot of people of color. We really want the world to see that like this isn't just like a linear thing. This is a very unique train and path that this music and this art comes from. And you can't just find it on a YouTube search. You have to like go to these places and find this stuff. And that's what we're doing. With Omaha Performing Arts in the Hip Hop Lab, I can't speak on their behalf. But I will say from my personal experience with them, I know that they are doing extremely hard work on trying to connect with North Omaha, and they're really with this hip hop lab. I truly believe that a lot of their focus is on North Omaha. There's a lot of people in that room, a few that we all know.
Yep.
Houston Alexander, one of them, that was, as soon as the meeting started, Houston, he came in strong, like, what are you doing for North Omaha? Like, how, so, and I was proud he said that. I'm glad he was in that room. And we were all kind of thinking that because we all know how some of these programs have gone in the past, they get developed, they get created. And then once they start moving, things kind of just get lost in the wind, and there's no consistency. So that's one thing that myself and a lot of others that are involved in this type of work are trying to push forward and make sure that it's consistent, which is why I still live in Omaha.
Do you have any insight on NOMA? Someone in the chat is asking, what about NOMA?
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Yeah. I actually, I'm on one of the boards at NOMA. I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. I'm just doing too much stuff. But it's just a lot.
We haven't even got to jazz night, so I understand. You're doing a lot.
I am. I am on the creative board of NOMA. NOMA is moving. NOMA is currently in a fundraising phase. So right now they're really, Dana is trying to figure out ways to, secure the funding to build the vision. And, a lot of what he wants to do it takes a lot. It takes a lot of capital. It takes a lot of push, and it takes a really good team. And I think right now he has a great team. And, the people that are working day to day on it are doing a great work. But yeah, it's going to take him some time to lock that in. And but right now, I think he's trying to contribute by connecting NOMA to the community by having festivals, block parties, and connecting with other events, other organizations to collaborate. I know we do. I host an Ableton meetup there. Ableton is a computer program where you could create and produce music, and we teach. Ableton sponsors it, so they pay for us to bring in guests and stuff like that into the space, and then we can. And it's free to the community, so anybody can show up.
Time out. Stop.
Kethro, I'm finally able to hear, by the way. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Man, you gotta slow your roll, man. That's like, for those who are interested or just don't know anything about the music industry, I had no idea that the companies, because that's a big part, is getting companies to invest. Again, I'm here in Atlanta. I see it all the time. Pandora, Spotify, Serato, BPM Supreme, everybody, there's relationships with the companies, and that builds. Again, we got to understand, we're talking about business. We're talking about the music business, not just people making music, but the actual industry of music is a huge thing. So I'm very proud to hear that Ableton is, has a relationship with the community. Definitely, whatever ad, flyers, whatever you have for that, please send that our way. But I did want to ask you a question about city investment. Again, I'm here in Atlanta. I actually recently learned that the mayor's office has a music liaison. There's somebody who deals with the music industry on the city's behalf here in Atlanta. I'm kind of curious, what conversations are you having, or what kind of investment interests are you seeing from the city? Especially, you're talking about bringing people in from around the country to do music. Omaha has a big tourist kick. Like, they're trying to get tourism and people to come in to spend and invest in the city. What type of interest has the city shown in the music industry?
That's a good question. And I'll be honest, I've never been, until recently, I've always been like a foot soldier. I've always been the one on the ground connecting community to community leader. So I can't really speak on what the city is doing because I'm not in those rooms. I don't get invited to those meetings. I should at this point. I'll be honest. And it's just kind of a unique thing. I think a lot of it is that I don't personally push myself to be in those rooms. I think there's a lot of people that are more able to be in those rooms. The people that own and run these nonprofits, the people that own and run these organizations need to be in those rooms making those decisions. But it's I've kind of started to realize, like, they're not pushing themselves to do that, and they're not pushing for the city to fund these things. And I think that's a big problem with Omaha's interest in the arts in general, is most of it, if not all, is a lot of it is private funding or funding from nonprofit-based projects. And where the city, a lot of the money, some of it comes from the city, but it's really thrown into kind of the wash, is what I like to call. So it would be nice my goal is to try to have more of these conversations so the city can kind of perk up and see, there is a way to start this industry. There is a way to boost this, because there's a lot of places in this country where the city will fund these projects and they will get the ball rolling just from the city. I would like to see an infrastructure more like Montreal's or Toronto up in Canada, where if you're a full-time musician, the government will give you money to be a musician. They'll subsidize your rent. They help you in these ways so you can be able to contribute art if you meet these certain standards. New York is on the path of doing that. I know Los Angeles has a lot of programming, a lot of funding going into the LA County area as far as that goes. It's in Nashville. I see a lot of laws changing. A lot of the politicians in Nashville are really fighting to try to protect musicians. This conversation, like with AI you had earlier, I'll keep it real short. It's like, I'm sorry, I cannot remember her name, but she represented Nashville, and her only concern was, how are you going to protect the music? Like, how are you going to protect the music business in my city? How are you going to do that? And that was just a really interesting question. I don't think I'd ever hear anybody from Omaha do that, personally.
You're reminding me about the film scene, which I got into when I first got in town, and how everybody's really pushing for tax incentives in order to be able to make your film here.
Right.
And there's other cities that's done that, like Atlanta is
big.
Pushed by Dallas Austin, by the way.
Oh, same page. Yeah, I think Dallas Austin. When anybody, if you watch like a Tyler Perry or film, and you see that peach at the end of the film, that's from Dallas Austin, and Dallas got a bill or ordinance or something passed where the city of Atlanta invests and gives tax subsidies and tax write-offs for that activity.
And for those of you who don't know who Dallas Austin is, he's a music guy. He's a musician, a music producer, a guy who he produced TLC and all these other bands. Like, a musician got film credits changed the film and TV landscape in the city. And when I think of people like that, I think about you. To be honest, Kethro, like, you are the cat. You're on the inside. You understand the things. You understand the solutions because you've been to other cities and see how things are done in other cities. If I can think of any musician in town that can change the landscape of film and music and everything else out here, you one of them cats. So
thanks.
Take a cue from us, bro. We're a couple of musicians too, but we decided to do this show so we can talk about these issues and get in front of people and make some change in the city. You're prime next for that, bro. For real.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Yeah. My only goal is to just, I want this to be a place where I'm very comfortable living in as and working in music. To me, it's the best place. The airport is 10 minutes away. It's the easiest airport to deal with. I can go anywhere in the world, and do music. And that's the beauty of music. It translates to every country. And I've had a lot of friends who feel the same, a lot of friends who work in the international business of music and live here. And they want to stay here. They want to stay here and keep doing it. Although they keep getting the calls to LA, they keep getting the calls to Chicago, New York, and Atlanta. They just don't want to leave. It's just such a dope little place. They could just, manifest and grow things on a grassroots level and not have to worry. If I ever, made it in music, as far as like I could build a house or anything, I would do it right here in the city. I wouldn't leave, and at that point I can just hop on a Boeing and go where I need to go to do the work and come back and chill when time for dinner. Like that's to me is like a dope vision. But it's very difficult. And, my brain, I wake up every day and I'm like, how do I solve this type of problem? Like, how do we make it accessible for all? How do we get musicians paid more?
That part.
Like with Beeee, like that's the one thing that really attracted me to want to, grow and build this program with them, is like, we pay our artists very, very well, especially compared to other spaces. And I understand it's nonprofit, for-profit, different business models and such, but even other nonprofits don't pay musicians the amount that Beeee does. I think we are literally the highest paying institution. And so how do we translate that for our local community? How do we, show a local community that, hey, like, you're worth, thousands of dollars, not hundreds, like you can, your band should be getting $5,000 a show. Easy,
right. Yeah, that's, start to start.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the clock, man. I know that you got an appointment coming up too, so I want to keep us on track here. It's about 8:40 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, I want to jump into the chat because it is all about the chat chimers around here.
Yeah, let's talk to the chat for sure.
And I got one more thing that I want to jump on with you with all these things before we get going too. I'm going to start at the bottom here. I see Von Chapman saying, from a historical perspective, North Omaha was second to none. Paul's grandfather was one of the community leaders that gave so many musicians the opportunity to be all we could be then. So I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
And he has spoke earlier a little bit on the history there too, saying that North Omaha once had a large music presence. The void was created by those who didn't see music as a part of their plan. Look at all the artists that originated in North Omaha. I know that you know some of the history, man. I know you have dug into the history. You doing jazz night is you doing a deep dive into the history of Omaha and North Omaha music. I wanted to continue on real quick. Malik Rogers says, where online do we find up and coming Nebraska artists? Let's table that question and come back to it. Also, Stuart Brother Knight says Sean Porter said he was going to do some things in Omaha. That's what's up. Look at that. We already answered what's up with Noma. Brother Knight says how to connect with North O. Don't be scared to go to the hood. Go to 30th and Ames and set up a stand. Promise you won't get robbed. He's talking to you like you ain't one of us, bro.
Man,
yeah, for real. He probably doesn't see me. That's why I move in the shadows.
In the studio.
Right.
In the studio.
I move in the shadows, and I'm at the studio all the time. That's literally what it is.
I'm gonna just make everybody understand. You don't see him a lot, but the brother is he's in all corners, bro. He's in all spots, all places. This is my brother right here. Kethro is my brother right here. And I don't mess with nobody. Don't mess with North Omaha. So this cat gets down. I just want to let you guys know that. And the reason, the segue I want to get into here on that one, I'm gonna hold up on the chat real quick because I want to go from there, because we've talked about a lot of these things, but one thing we haven't talked about is your connection with like Big Wade and them cats, because here's what's going on with North Omaha. There's all these scenes going on, and I'm thinking about there's scenes that are happening, like you're saying, with Beemis, with even Make Believe. There's a lot of things that are going on some parts of town, and some parts of town other stuff is going on. Like Big Wade has had the lab for years. He's been kind of the I can't even explain. He's been this safe space where everybody in town that is doing hip hop and R&B and gospel can come to. He's really been a force in pushing North Omaha musicians and music from certain eras, from more recent eras than some of these history stuff we're talking about in the past. And I just I just want you to be able to let people know that you're not just on these upper level programs that are going on, but you're also right here working. You know what I'm saying? You're also in there with Big Wade. You've done work with Big Wade. You see some of these up and coming young rappers, young artists, and some of these people that are. It's not like you are separated here. I want people to understand that there's no. When it comes to you, you're all over the place. When it comes to the music business, it's not. You don't subscribe to this. We have all these different silos here. You've been working over you do stuff with Marcy Yates, Culture House. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
So if you could speak on that give me a minute on that, just to let them know, man. We gotta let them know that you.
And I'm also happy to go a little bit over time. That meeting can wait. This is important. I as a audio engineer, I've been a recording engineer for a long time, and I never I never had any filter on who I worked with. A lot of people ask me what kind of music you work on. That's like a terrible question to ask, in my opinion, because every day was different. But a lot of my clientele, was in the hip hop, jazz, gospel realm, and sometimes we'd work with some heavy hitters, sometimes some big names would come through, Logan Richardson or Terrace Martin or Jadena. But then, on a local level, Big Wade, Cross Bearing Nation, a lot of these groups, in town, like I was working with them very closely for many years. And so a lot of people don't see that, because I'm not the type of person that like puts my clients' work on the internet and shares it and stuff like that, mainly because in the studio, you kind of are more on sworn to secrecy a little bit until that project comes out. So, that's kind of my lifestyle. And I've always adapted that to my lifestyle. So many apologies to those in the chat who are like, we don't see you, we don't know you. It's because I don't think I'm personally as important as the bigger thing is with the music. No, let's be real. Like, if I'm working on an album, it's not about Kethro, it's about the album. It's about the final piece of work. And when that comes out and you hear it and it's dope, and I hear you talking about it in the pizza shop or whatever, that just makes me happy, I'm like, yeah, cool, dope. Like, glad the horns and the vocals popped out at you.
Come
We worked on that
man.
shit for 16 years.
Hold up, bro.
Excuse my language, sorry.
Hold up
but-
though, real quick, because Brother Malik Rogers is saying something that I'm thinking right
Yeah.
now. He's saying need better promo in Omaha. A lot of this is unknown.
Yeah,
so,
never heard.
So sometimes your humility is like, sometimes your humility can hurt you a little bit. It's not
double-edged sword.
It's not being it's not necessarily that you're not being humble to have some visibility out here. The visibility actually helps the whole scene. You know what I'm saying?
Heard. Yeah. And, I've started to realize that, a lot of the places and institutions and stuff that I do help out, marketing has always been the biggest challenge for all those things. Even my personal self, I did take a step back since 2020 on how I market things and how I go about things. And I decided to move into shadows a little bit more because my idea was the bigger focus. But I also realized with the lack on the other side too, I had to step up and show the world, what's going on myself. And, we're even seeing now, like I'm working on this dance club that literally is about to open in a week. And we open up this high fidelity, really intimate dance space that's going to be centered around, dance music. And we kept it very, very, very low key up until now. And then now we're just going super, super crazy on trying to get the world to know. And we chose to do it that way because we wanted to make sure it was right. And that's how the vision, I think, with a lot of projects and a lot of opportunities and a lot of things, I really want to just make sure things are done right. Because a lot of people chatter and they talk about what they are going to do and they don't show the results. And I want to be able to show those results and then tell you about it. But sometimes it requires the thing to be done first before I can go out and start, telling the world like, hey, this is a thing. It's real. And that takes a lot of time and energy. And for me, I'm always like, once something's done, I'm moving to the next thing and I'm just keeping the train rolling. And I realized like, no, you have to stop and you have to show the world, like, and you have to keep reminding them because they're not going to get it from one post or a couple posts. I have to like be weekly on it. So I will admit, I have been taking more time to let the world and acknowledge, especially the city, to let them know what I've been involved in and how I've been involved in these things and let people know that these things are real and these things are happening. It's a process.
I just want to throw it in there, man, because I don't think I'm hearing you. I don't think you realize just how important you are to Omaha. Like me being here in Atlanta, one of my goals, I talk about it all the time, is building a bridge, trying to open up resources for those, or just even invite people who have not, seen a music industry in its full fledged, see people promoting and seeing, like, to see it is a different thing. But you are somebody who you've seen it. You've been there. You're doing it. You're in it.
Thank you.
And just beyond, blowing your own horn and tooting your own horn and saying, look at me, I'm doing this. Like, the wealth of information that you have is imperative for Omaha to get where you want it to get. And we all know it can get. We
absolutely.
need you. That's the point. Like,
thank you.
We need you.
Join and here's my pitch for you. Join the team, bro. Like, join the team. This is what we're here doing. We have the same feeling that you are. We're artists, and I think pretty much like all artists go through that whole thing, unless you're one of these artists that got this huge ego. But if you're like us, you don't want to make it about us, but you can be the reporter. Let me put some reporting ideas in your head on this. You can tell us about what's going on here. It don't have to be about you. You can tell us about all the things that you're connected to, because that's the only way we gonna find out about other folks doing stuff around here. So like,
true.
So let's have you on here more regularly and talk about this industry. There's a lot that's going on here when it comes to, like Buddy was saying, tourism. There's a lot that's going on here with connected to the art world. There's a lot going on with the music industry, people making money. You have the same kind of goals we have: get bands paid, get musicians paid, so on and so forth. This is a very important part of the industry of Omaha as a whole, because there's going to be art and music here. So we might as well make it be what it needs to be. So
and there's a lot of funding. There's a lot of money out there that artists can grab. I'll say this one example, and I'm sorry, I won't take too much more of your time, but there's one example, Amplify Arts, I sat on a board, like a advisory group board with them a couple weeks ago. And I was the only person in there that came, like, that is a full-time, in music full time as an engineer, musician. And, you know, there's other people in there that dabbled in music. I thought that was cool, you know, but, you know, I'm in the industry. And to hear the way they speak about their language and trying to get people engaged in their grants, like they have a $10,000 grant. They have grants that range, you know, in the thousands, and they go higher and higher. And, you know, I'm reading and I'm hearing the room speak, and I'm finally got up and I was like, yo, like none of this is tailored towards music, even though it's like there's a little blip in there that says sound. The biggest issue that I'm having is no musician in town is going to read this and want to participate because they don't think it's for them. So I think a lot of that conversation that I'm trying to have and the conversations with you is trying to get these places to change their language and to speak more towards that and to help. Because I know a lot of these places that want to fund music, they say music's in there, but it's always kind of the last thing, especially the arts organizations. They really I never knew a lot of them even cared about music until I got in the room and they're like, yeah, you know, you can apply for this too. I'm like, yo, it's been over a decade and I didn't know that, you know, like none of it ever, you know, my good friend, Connie Franco, who's in Mean Street. I mean, he got an Amplify grant, and that was the first time I found out that musicians can even apply and get it. So that's why I sat in the room and said those things. And I left there feeling, there's a lot of heavy hitters in the room in the art world. So I left there feeling like a little weird, but I'm glad I said what I said, because I need these places to kind of, you know, light the fire and kick things into gear as far as like helping out the music realm, because it's just as important. And this is the music right now more than ever is being used in every aspect of every industry and every way, shape possible. Why can we not grab that? Like, music is generating more revenue now than it ever has in human history. Wow. I mean,
it's projected to go up.
It's insane. It's billions of dollars, you know, and like it's incorporated into every single thing, you know. There's a quote that, you know, we all live by is music is the best thing to sell everything but music.
Facts.
And
Facts.
You know, and I thought that was an interesting quote. But if you want to play this game in this business, you know, you don't have to make your music to sell products or anything, but we have to kind of work to change that a little bit, where it's like
business.
It is a business if you want to live in it. But at the same time, you know, I want people to make music that they love and respectively get paid for it, not follow or chase a trend or follow this or that. I want them to be creative. And that's why, like, experimental music is important. Like, it can generate good revenue out there. It doesn't have to live in the academia space. It could be in other spaces and get appreciated. People love this stuff. They just don't know it yet. So that's why I want, you know, these conversations to happen, so we can get more and more people interested in just seeing like, oh yeah, like this could be the next thing, this could be it, or this is comfortable for me to absorb, or this is a good feeling for me to have, you know. And so I'll fight for it all day. Yeah.
So we're gonna help you fight for that. We're gonna be this is why we're here too, to be a place where you can come in. This is a platform where you can get this message out more.
I appreciate that.
We'll definitely continue to do this on a more regular basis. Art, we are going to go ahead and let you go. We got about 6 more minutes before it's time to get out of here. So really appreciate it, man. We're going to have you back a little longer. You know what I'm saying? A little longer time to talk about some things. Looks like everybody's appreciating what's going on. Black Dynamite said that's heavy. Vaughn Chapman says very informative. Kimmer Snipe says he's so right. I was today years old when I learned Amplify Arts did music. That's interesting. Man. Go back in the chat if you would a little later on. Brother Chapman is talking about getting local exposure. And maybe you can answer the question about Reverb Nation there. Marion Williams says thanks for being here. This morning I learned so much in this show from guests like you. Wishing you great success. That's what's up, man. Sarah Phelps was in the chat, says so excited Kethro is here. Where can I research historic Omaha jazz to add to my repertoire? That's a good question. A good question. I can recommend my cousin's book, The Deuce. Hey, talks a lot about Omaha, North Omaha history, and so on and so forth. I'll put that on Friends of First Sky Omaha. And in the meantime, man, you know, let's chop it up. Let's I'll come through on some of these jazz nights when you guys are still down there on Mr. Toes chopping it up.
Yes, and, please.
We'll continue this conversation and have you back again soon.
Yeah, cool. They're asking where can we find you? Where can we find you? Social media. How can people get in contact?
Yeah, all social media except TikTok. I'm at Kethro, Kethro. Super simple. You could find me on there. Please add me. Let's chop it up. If you have questions, anything you need to know, I'm happy to help. I know a few cats in the chat were asking questions about where, when, and where can you find resources. So please feel free to ask. I'll do my best to point you in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, man. If you're not a part of Friends of First Sky Omaha, join that Facebook group and then drop your stuff in there. That's where a lot of the information is that we do. We gather
Sounds
there.
good.
So, right on, man. Appreciate you coming in.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Much
Thank
love.
you, man.
Peace.
Love, peace.
Yeah, I love that. That's my brother right there. Kethro,
Man.
he be getting up in the morning doing yoga, listening to us. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely always nice to talk to more and more ghost listeners, but especially finding out who's a ghost listener, man. Big shout out to my guy Kethro. Yeah, he's being very, very modest, but Omaha gem, especially in the music industry, to say the least.
That's real. We got about 4 minutes left in the show.
What's happening? What's going down?
Yes, sir. Time for the Haps. Time for us to talk a little bit about what's going on around town and for you to tell us what's going on too, man. I'll try to keep it as brief as I can because we don't believe in the concept of time, but we believe in the concept of agreements. Amy H. put out there that maybe we should agree on stopping at 9:07 and make a new agreement, basically. Don't forget, it's time to vote for OEAA's public nominations. Close on August the 31st. You got a few more weeks to get your votes in. We'll talk more about that. As a matter of fact, we're going to have Allie Peeler on the show very soon to talk about what you got to go through here to vote for your favorite artists.
Okay.
To get these OEAAs coming up. She'll be here next Friday, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's coming up, so start looking into that. Definitely go to the Omaha, the OEAA. I think it's oeaa.org.
Yep.
And yeah, check out what you got to do for that. Some of those things. All the instructions and everything will be there, and you can kind of vote for your favorite artist out here, man. Let's do it. These award shows are very important. They're a partner of ours, First Sky Omaha, so we would definitely want to be a part of letting you guys know that it's time. Public nominations close on August the 31st. It's time to nominate your favorite artist out here. Let's get it going.
Man, Kethro just had him on, multi-time winner at the OEAA. So yeah, definitely get down.
Pop says, if I was come to Omaha to do any music projects, this brother's the first one I seek out. That's real.
There you go.
And he's associated with the Make Believe Studios, which is the first studio you need to seek out on the real.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, Terrace Martin just dropped a new album called Curly in a tribute to his pops, and a lot of that was recorded at Make Believe Studios. So it's all in the fam, We'll definitely, I had the OEA link. Sorry about that. Let me grab that, post the link real quick. I set myself up for it too and forgot to drop it. So here you go. This is for how do you get to the OEAA awards page and go ahead and do your thing over there for the nominees. It's a very important thing to do for sure. Going to talk a little bit about the show that's coming up here, Six Guns Running. If you haven't got your tickets yet, there's still a few left. Definitely hit up our own Beaufield Berry, playwright. She did some very important plays here in town, and now she's doing this Black Cowgirl musical in concert on 18th, 19th, and 20th called Six Guns Running. This is the play previously known as Buffalo Women. If you guys have heard of that one, she's renamed this, rebranded it, and is doing it here at the Benson Theater. Tonight is opening night, so come on through. There'll be some talk back afterwards. And then, of course, on the 20th, 2 p.m., Southern Spoon is going to be providing the food for the show there. So if you got 2 times to watch it, 7:30 in the evening tonight and tomorrow night. And then if you want to wait and go August the 20th and have the brunch on top of it, then get your ticket for the 2 p.m. show on August the 20th. So shout out to Beaufield Berry, man, the whole team that's been really kind of pushing to get this thing up and running. It's a very important show. It's in conjunction with the Blue Barn Theater as well. So it's representing some partnership with the Blue Barn, which is, we're all about the collaboration. That's what it's all about. So definitely get down with that. Kimra Snipes in the chat in Friends of First Sky. No, I'm sorry. Paul Philman in Friends of First Sky Omaha put this in reaching my attention here. This is called Art from the Inside.
Okay.
This is, I'm not going to even try to read that little fine print down there. I read it earlier though, and it's talking about that this is showcasing art from people that are incarcerated, and how the art scene and movement really helps their time there. Opening reception is on September the 1st, so just mark that on your calendar. September the 1st. We'll talk a little bit more about this as we go. And of course, we got to talk about what's happening tomorrow morning, week 3, Saturday at 10 o'clock. We're back at the Elevator Spaces for the Content Creators Camp 2023. Man, if you have not registered yet, then go ahead. It's pinned at the top of Friends of First Sky Omaha. You can hit that link, register, and come on through. Tomorrow's will be Abby Kretz and Dr. Carol Zugner. We call her Dr. Z. They're going to come in and do some instruction on how to be a citizen journalist. This is part of our 12-week program. Thanks to you, all the people that support us at First Sky Omaha. Now we're able to do some content creators camp, really showing how we all put up content all the time. Let's add some of the tenets of journalism to our stuff, so we can be trusted sources and tell stories in our neighborhoods and so on and so forth, and keep the powers that be in check, man. That's what it's all about. So, brought to you by Flatwater Free Press and us, First Sky Omaha. The Content Creators Camp is happening. We're on week 3. Again, we're back at the Elevator Spaces, 1402 Jones Street, and we will have a funky good time tomorrow morning. I'll see you there. It is 9:01 already, so we're going to run a little bit late. I hope that's okay with y'all. We can't get out of here without talking about Afro Fest. Is happening Saturday, September 2nd. So, first and second, there's some times you're going to go ahead and mark it off on your calendar. Things are going to be happening in early September, and this is one that you don't want to miss. The 5th year of Afro Fest Omaha 2023 is going down. Every time they do this, they increase their numbers by hundreds and hundreds. There's going to be thousands of people out there. There's going to be so many food trucks, so many vendors. It's a beautiful. It's like you in Wakanda when you go here at Stinson Park, bro. It goes down like that. You feel like you're in a whole different city.
Getting me all excited. It's all salivating.
Man, come to Afro Fest. Come to Afro Fest. Something that Kimber Snipes put in Friends of First Sky Omaha a little earlier. Release open house. This is happening on August the 24th from 4 to 7. Ribbon cutting and tours and refreshments. I want to talk to you about this, Kimber. Talk a little bit about what this is. So I saw that you posted it. I wanted to give it some time, and hopefully you'll be able to come on and talk to us about this pretty soon here. Love to talk to you about this particular event. Looked pretty good, and I saw you had some things to say about it. So that's what's up. Appreciate it very much. Also, put on your calendars our man, Scotty Pigeon, who you knew DJ'd the first Chat Chimers kickback over at Tiny House. He's going to be at the Luminarium doing something. Oh, is this past? This passed already, August 10th.
But I saw him posted. I think this might be a regular thing.
I think it might be a regular thing, yeah. So I probably got the wrong flyer here. But yeah, check out the Luminarium Nightlight. They do, it's kind of like an adult night going on at the Luminarium, which is fresh. Scotty Pigeon has been a staple over there. I've seen him DJ there a couple of times now. So that's what's up, man. Check out Nightlight. I'm not sure what the new date is. I'll get that to you and put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha for sure. But yeah, appreciate you coming through on that. And support Scotty Pigeon, man. That's our dude. Yeah. That's our resident DJ.
man, the homie. Also, we got the IB Black Girl, man. We can't forget about Angela Davis coming down, man. Huge. Yes.
October 27th. It's gonna come up on you before you know it. Angela Davis will be in town, keynote speaker for the Reproductive Justice Summit. The IB Black Girls put on. Watched IB Black Girl grow from a very, very upstart young organization and doing some good work in our community here. So shout out to IB Black Girl, and shout out to the fact they're bringing Angela Davis out, man. One of the legends.
Heavy.
It's going down. Before we get out of here, just want to give one more good shout out to brother Terrell McKinney on his 33rd.
Happy belated.
Yeah, man. And don't forget, on his 33rd, they also announced
New plantation.
So, he's I don't care if it's his birthday or what's going on. He gonna bring up the issues. He gonna tell you what's going on, and he's gonna remember that what we're here for is all power to the people. So shout out to brother Senator Terrell McKinney for doing the good work and hanging in there, man. And with that, if you guys have anything else in the chat, let me see if anybody else has got anything that we need to be talking about real quick. Not seeing nothing quite yet.
Not seeing too much.
So Kimber Snipes says, if you go to 30th and Ames, I'll buy you some coffee from the headquarters. Okay.
I think she's talking to Kethro.
Oh, you talking to Kethro? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Paul's still gonna show up. Still gonna show up. Like, hey.
Where my coffee at? Where
the cookies and stuff?
Buddy, anything else we need to let the people know about?
Well, we do have a few honorable mention stories we didn't get into, so definitely look forward to that on Monday. We'll try to roll that in. Definitely got to talk about this new prison, 1,500 new beds coming to the Lincoln area. So we'll definitely talk about the new plantation, as Senator McKinney puts it. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. But beyond that, man, we definitely just appreciate and love everybody. I really enjoy doing this. Big shout out to Brother Kethro for taking the time out of his morning to come and speak with us. Big shout out to all of you for tuning in, especially those of you who chimed into the chat. As always, I appreciate all the input, all the thoughts, all the information that we might skip over or just might not have. So we definitely need you for this show and this conversation to be all that it can be. A big shout out to Brother David. We has some new viewers, some new chat chimers in here. So again, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We are growing. We are still working on some things behind the scenes and just trying to keep it moving, man. So again, season 6, boots to the roots. Let's get activated, but let's take care of ourselves, man. We all we got at the end of the day. So appreciate y'all. Check us out same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, take it away.
Kimber Snipes, we'll have you on next week to talk about that speaker series coming up. So appreciate you very much. So also, what's going to be first and foremost on our agenda on Monday is this Flatwater Free Press article that just dropped that is calling the governor out in a big way. Yeah. They're actually really nervous. They about to be a target because of them being able to calling out what's going on here. So this is journalism at its finest when it comes to keeping the powers that be in check. They're boldly going where not a whole lot of news goes these days. So I put the article in the chat. Please check it out. We'll definitely talk about it Monday. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to have Matt Wing come on and talk about it directly on Monday. And then, of course, we have Brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne coming on Monday as well. So take care this weekend and get ready for a heavy Monday show in a real way. We'll be talking about it all. So appreciate everybody. Miss Erica Fell says, I appreciate you. I do wish y'all had more media presence so more know about what you do. I hear you. We're working on more media presence in order to be able to do that. That's something that we're heavily involved in making happen right now too. So we're trying to put that out, especially the Haps. The Haps is something that really needs to be spread around a little bit more than just the way that we have been doing word of mouth and grassroots this way. So we're going to put a little bit more effort into that, and that's thanks to everybody who has been a reoccurring member and sponsor of the channel. When our membership grows, we're able to push the message out even further. So if you're so inclined, go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button. Let's get this rolling, and tell a friend to go ahead and join over on YouTube and like and subscribe there, so that we can really kind of push things over there as well. So we appreciate that very much. But she says, drink water, honor your body, and keep it clean. Keep to clean air spaces. Be good to yourself. I'm glad you reminded me about that. We're going to be in an air advisory. It's happening right now. Fires in Canada is blowing down here again. If you can stay inside, please do, because that's really what's going on. So stay inside. Plus, it's going to be hot. So watch that out. Watch out for your loved ones there. Pop says, what an awesome show. I blinked and it was over. Love you guys and all you do. And I love my First Sky fam. Have a great weekend, everybody, and see you on Monday. Appreciate you, Pops.
Thank you.
Yep. Mr. Eric says, next week I'll be pushing everyone to leave comments to their Congress people regarding the Child Care Development Block Grant proposal. Action items. Boost to the roots. I like that.
There you go.
Appreciate that. We'll definitely be talking about it. So yeah, we'll see you at the show. I see Kimber Snipes is arranging some time to get over to see Six Guns running. I love it. We'll see you there. And you guys take care of yourselves. Shout out to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And thanks to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. We really appreciate all of your comments. If you missed any parts of this show, go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook or YouTube and check out the chat, which is really where it's all going on. It's all about the chat chimers. So we appreciate y'all for real. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We are almost 10 minutes past now. So we really might need to make a little bit, make a new agreement about stop time.
Remember, we started late too, though.
We did start late. And thanks for bearing with us through that technical difficulty. Yeah. No thanks to Cox Cable.
So, count your days, Cox. Count your days.
We'll be talking about that coming up too, man. Lots of broadband coming because that big stimulus check.
Man.
So we'll have some options here in a minute. Cox might be in deep trouble. So we'll see.
Cameron says just make it 3 hours or so and stop playing.
Man, you playing now. We ain't doing that.
We love y'all, man. Catch the same time, same place next time. Until then, peace.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad with the key.
Bye.